The next play is actually a world premiere, as it was part of a round that was selected on the script alone. Written and directed by Crash Test Drama co-founder Jill Brennan, it stars Robin Coombs, Mark Smith and Sarah Hawthorne. After all these years, we present to you our second play, Me Too.
Now listen, girlie, I've been around the airline industry for over 35 years and I know that if you wanted to, you could upgrade me at the drop of a hat. You're just not trying.
I'm sorry, sir, but I don't have the authority to change your ticket. If you want to travel first class, you can, of course, pay for the upgrade.
I don't believe it.
It's been a pleasure checking you in this morning, sir.
It is you, isn't it?
I beg your pardon?
Teresa, it really is you.
Well, my name is Teresa, but I don't think I know. Although your face is somewhat familiar.
It's me, Danny. Though I'm not surprised you don't recognise me, I'm only half the size I used to be when we worked together.
Danny Cohen. I never would have recognised you. It must be 30 years or more. Oh, my goodness, you really have lost weight. You're looking incredibly fit.
Yes, scary, isn't it? Are you rushing off somewhere or do you have time for a cup of coffee?
Well, I'm actually flying up to the Gold Coast, but my flight doesn't leave for an hour. How about you?
Oh, yes, Hobart for a conference, but I've got an hour. Come on, let's find somewhere to eat. A drink.
We'll be lucky. This place is always a crush on a Monday morning. I still can't believe it's you.
Look, over there in the corner. I'll go grab a waitress. You sit down.
That's typical. You grabbing a waitress. I seem to recall it was always a stewardess or one of the other office girls.
Oh, that was a long time ago, and I was a young man then.
Oh, well, that's all right then.
So, where do we start? It's been so long.
Why Hobart? What conference?
Well, after TWA folded, I joined an insurance agency that does investigations of air crashes. It's interesting and I like it. And you?
Oh, I'm still with the airlines. I joined Qantas. I was at Heathrow with ground ops for a few years, and then I got the opportunity to transfer back to Australia. And I'm in Queensland with flight operations. I've a house up there. I was just here in Sydney for the weekend visiting friends.
Do you ever see anybody from the old crew?
Oh, very occasionally. Everyone's spread out all over the place after TWA. Most of them left the airlines and went into business elsewhere.
Yes, I'd heard that.
Oh, Sandra comes through Sydney every now and again, and she and her husband, he's a New Zealander, they live in Wellington. Windy Welly, she calls it. Every time they land, she prays and grabs onto the guy next to her, no matter who he is.
She hasn't changed then.
What do you mean by that?
Well, there was always some guy next to her, as I recall. Didn't matter who he was then either.
That's a lousy thing to say. She's been happily married for 20 years and they have 2 lovely daughters. Anyway, moving swiftly on, are you married?
Well, I was, but it didn't work out. I was away with the job so much and she moved on to someone else.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, we didn't have any children, so the divorce was fairly amicable. You know, we still talk occasionally. What about you?
No, I've never married. Never found the right guy, I guess. But I love my job, I'm paid well, I travel a lot, and my home is my refuge.
Well, perhaps we could have dinner when I get back from Hobart. Or I could even stay over a couple of days before I go back to England.
I don't think so, Danny. I'm going on holiday to Fiji with a friend, and I couldn't possibly let her down. She's not been well, and she's still in recovery.
Ah, well, that's a shame. Perhaps some other time when I'm passing your friend. Nothing serious, I hope.
It was very serious, actually. Jenny was the victim of a home invasion.
Wow, that's terrible. What happened?
Well, she was just settling down for the night when this bastard broke in through the French windows. Well, they were locked, of course, but that didn't stop him. He just forced the lock and then beat her up before raping her and leaving her for dead.
Oh, bad news. Did they catch him?
Yes. The next morning, the cleaning lady arrived and found Jenny unconscious on the living room floor and phoned the police and ambulance. When Jenny came around, a week later, she remembered that the guy had a very distinctive tattoo on the back of his hand, and that's how the police traced him.
Makes you wonder, doesn't it? What sort of a guy does that?
Yes, it's a life-changing event. Well, Jenny will never be the same again. Well, she can't be left alone. She's scared of all men. She sees them as a threat. Well, hardly surprising after what happened to her.
Oh, I suppose not. Well, I think that's my flight they're calling. I better not miss it. Look, it's been good seeing you again. And look, here's my card. Perhaps if you're ever passing through England, give me a call, eh?
I don't think so, Danny, but thanks for the card. That's going to make things much easier.
What do you mean?
Well, my solicitor was wondering how he was going to track you down, but now you've just handed me your contact details. I'm not going to have that problem.
What are you talking about?
Well, Danny, you may not have set much store by it, but that time when we were on night shift together and you forced yourself on me...
You liar! I never forced myself on you. You were wanting it. You know you were. And you enjoyed it too. It's what we did on night shift. Sandra never complained.
No, Danny, I didn't enjoy it. It's affected me all my life. It's why I've never been brave enough to get married. What you did to me is indelibly etched on my subconscious. It's why I've never been able to get close to anyone.
You lying cow. You're just a frigid cow. You always were.
What happened to Jenny taught me that no one should have to suffer that kind of assault. So I went to my solicitor and we decided that I should have my day in court.
You bitch. You've set me up, haven't you? But how did you know I was coming through Sydney today?
Oh, the airline is a very small world. Your ex-wife Mary gave me a call. She really is very bitter about all your affairs when you were away, and she was more than happy to drop you right in it. And she's willing to testify as to your character. So, by the way, is Sandra.
How do you know my ex?
Oh, I don't, but Sandra does. They were at school together all those years ago in England. We traced her through Friends Reunited. Quite a coincidence, eh?
That's not a coincidence. You've trapped me, but you'll never make it stick.
Oh, I think we will. With Mary willing to testify, us girls are going to get our own back. And who knows who else will come out of the woodwork when all this begins. Enjoy Hobart, Danny. I'm sure I'll see you again very soon. No doubt, in court.